This is William Snyder, and I am interviewing Tom Newsom about his job and how math ties into his job. So tell us first a pretty much background of what you do on a daily basis, just without math.
Okay. Well, my background is electrical engineering, and in that, computer systems and storage. So, daily sorts of things are just working with the storage that goes on computers and RAID systems and calculating the needs behind that, as well as doing costs and costing on subsystems so that we can get an idea of where we are and what we need to do.
Alright, and what's probably one of the main mathematical things that ties in with that?
Sure. So when you're looking at the transfer rates of data from a computer to a storage device, there's a lot of things you have to do in terms of the transfer rate and how big the disks are and how many you need based on the computer system you have. So a lot of it has to do with that, and then taking the parts that you have to build it from and determining the cost and how much markup you have to put on it to make the profit that you need to make. Those sorts of things.
So with cost, so pretty much you're saying that like the parts that tie into the software or whatnot, you pretty much the cost will tie in with that. So do you ever use mental math in what you do?
Sure. When I'm building a spreadsheet to determine the cost, when you're doing a formula to calculate certain things, you put down what you think that formula is and you try to get it correct, but you have to have some idea of what you think it's going to come out to. So you estimate it in your mind, and it doesn't have to be right on it, but you come up with a ballpark number. And when you do the calculation in the spreadsheet, if it doesn't come out close to that number, you know there's something wrong in the formula. Then you go back and check the formula and find out where you made a mistake.
I see. And then when you find out if you've made a mistake, where do you tie in conversions with that?
Yeah, so there are conversions, and typically things like megabytes per second, megabits per second, those sorts of things which come up frequently in both computer memory and in storage. So you have to be able to handle that, and in terms of the size of what they refer to as words or bytes or bits in the computer as well. So you have those transitions, and you have to keep them straight so you know what you've got when you get done.
I see. And with shopping, so obviously there's, with weights and measures conversion. So if you could elaborate on like how you tie in cost and adding up all the different parts in this, do you happen to work with that at all?
Yes, so typically in day-to-day activity with computers, a lot of it is what I said, but let's say that you have to go and shop for some things, and what you're looking at happens to be in a different measure than what you went to get. So if it's in grams and you need it in ounces and pounds, or if it's in kilograms and you need it in something else, you need to be able to do that mental math to quickly convert it so you know how many of these things you need to get.
I see. And so, pretty much just to sum up your day-to-day routine in your job, what's probably the biggest factor of math you have to deal with in, for example, conversions or in just like shopping, just probably what do you have to practice the most in your job?
Probably it's just the math of determining what we need and how much of it we need, and whether those particular pieces are going to do the job in terms of the speed of transfer and the capacity.
I see. So pretty much that's all that we need to sum that up. And so just on a background, we've learned that you work a lot with just the amounts you need for certain things, conversions, you use it in shopping, you said even. Say you needed to go for a certain amount, you might have to convert that, and then pretty much just basically there's a lot of different things that tie in to your job with math. So would you say that's pretty much the main things you have to deal with?
Sure. The other things, of course, that are around you all the time, whether you're in engineering or not, things at home. If you're going to build a patio deck, or you're going to floor a room, or if you're going to put insulation in an attic, you have to be able to calculate what you're going to need. And sometimes the math involves geometry and trigonometry because you've got strange angles you have to cut.
Yeah.
So you have those, and then you've got things like, I want to put in an irrigation system for my yard, so how do I figure the flow rate in a pipe to know what size pipes I need and how many? So it's really everywhere and every day, and you run into it, and most of the time you don't even know that that's what you're doing,
Exactly.
but that's what it is.
Well, that sounds good. Well, this has been very helpful, and thank you for doing this.
Thank you.